Hello, everybody. Welcome back. We are continuing on with character burning for Roll20 Presents the Burning Wheel Series 3. How's everybody doing? Are we ready to start spending our points?
Just entering my resources, and then we're good to go.
Nice.
Yeah, I'm ready to start spending points. I'm just.
Can we check something for our witch? There's the augur life path.
Yeah, it says that I just need to be female. So there's either midwife or country wife.
Yeah, what page are you looking at?
This is 164.
Okay, thanks.
And yeah, it's either midwife or country wife, or must be female and have no more than 3 life paths.
Three life paths total, though.
So you can't be an augur.
The idea with the augur is that she's an old woman or a young woman. There are no like middle-aged augurs.
I see. Well,
yeah, I think
but it's not at the time of me taking the life path?
No, because it would say there is a way that the game says that, but it's not this. It would be must be the first, second, or third life path, or must be taken no later than 3 life paths. Yeah. So you have to be young or old to be an augur.
But I was young. And now I am old.
Yes, unfortunately, yeah. Your augury comes late in life or early.
So you would have to add basically another life path in 10 years.
No, you'd have to be a midwife or country wife first. So those,
which is 10 years.
Yeah, and then you could have become other things after. But yeah, augur can't be.
I mean, I think this fucks up my entire thing.
Yes, that's possible.
And to start over entirely, I think
it may need to be readjusted. Yeah.
That's frustrating.
Yeah. No, it's
Can't Andrew just have 6 life paths?
No.
I'm not gonna lobby for 6. That's way too many.
That's way too many. Yeah.
Also, I'm like an old ass lady at that point.
Yes. Yeah.
I mean, that's the point of the.
You're already
what Adam
38.
was saying, right?
So.
Yeah, I'm already quite old for this.
I can't believe I'm only 32.
I mean, in medieval times, you're getting there.
I'm pretty old. So it's for a lady. 29.
Elf, I think your character is probably the youngest.
27.
Yeah.
How are you doing on resources, BJ?
I want to know how many resources you have, Dave.
I've got 59.
Oh, well, suck it. I got 80.
Ugh,
I have 27.
nice.
You were trying, Dave. You really were, but please.
But please.
Yeah, you're a rich person. That's
I mean, you're a rich person,
always been
and one
a
of you
rich
is a priest. Though your resources will shake out very differently, like your stat. Okay, well, Andrew, do you mind if I introduce the others? Because you've burned a character a bunch of times.
Yeah, I'll figure this bullshit out.
You'll get that squared away. Okay, I'll carry on with everybody else.
I'm just annoyed because it requires that I like fully rebuild, but I'll figure it out.
It happens. Okay, so after you finish choosing your character's life paths, you'll total up the time category. Add 1 year for each lead taken. This is the character's starting age. So the sheet should do the majority of this for you. Time plus leads, that'll have that there. Where it says mental age and physical age, adjust those accordingly.
What was that?
Consult the age chart. It's step 4 on the
Oh, okay. So I'll manually do that.
Click the drop down and adjust it to whatever the category.
It's the third one. It's
and mental age and
then
mental age and physical age are the same as your actual age, right?
They're mental and age. Yeah, mental and physical age are just your character's age. They're just 2 separate things because they generate different amounts of points.
Okay.
Okay. So that'll tell you points that you have, and that'll fill in down below what you've got there. So you have to have here. Well, we're going to start assigning stats now. So the way this works is you divide the amount you have between all of the stuff you've got here, and then and then you'll have your stats. Now there are some limits for stats. The game has already taken the M and P columns from your character. So for example, Blue Jay, if you look at yours, you started with 7. It went up to 10 because you got 3 mental points. Right? Started with 7, went up to 10. Then it took 2 away because you can't have lower than 1 in perception.
Okay. Yeah.
So you'll divide these up. Mental points are divided between perception and will. If you put 5 points into will, you start with a B5 will. You have to put 1 in both. You cannot start the game with lower than lower than 1, but you could if you wanted. The suggestion is you keep it at 3 as your minimum, if you can. I'm gonna rule, because I feel like it really fucks up the game at character creation. I'm gonna rule that we don't shade shift now. So if you're if anybody's angling for a gray anything, we're not gonna do that. We're just gonna, because it really messes up the game when you're like, cool, I have 1 in something. It's gray 1, but every time you get punched, you fall down.
I was gonna do that.
No,
that's fine.
No, you earn
Okay,
that.
so I have
angling for
So
the
suggestion
fattest
here is no lower than 3, no higher than 6. The difference between will and perception is that perception is obviously your character's ability to perceive things in the world, but it's also their like book smarts.
So
will is their social aptitude and their intuition, and their obviously their will.
There's a problem with the statement you just made, isn't that I have a 5 mental pool.
Okay.
So I can not go both higher than 3.
These are a suggestion. If you can't do it, it's okay. You're not breaking the rules.
Okay.
Your mental pool doesn't count buying 1 point in it. It starts at 1.
Yeah, so you have 5 extra points, so you can add 2.
But I already have both.
You actually start with 7, but the sheet pulls 2 from you.
I got you. Cool. All right.
So I can add, like, I have 8 to divvy up. I could put like 6 will and then 4 perception. Would that be the appropriate?
Yeah, it's up to you. Your will will show how hard you are to like mess with when other people want you to do things.
So
you can also look at your skills, because skills will open based on certain things. But
I was looking at skills.
Yeah. So you've got a pretty even split of will and perception. If you feel like your character is smarter than they are willful, go into perception. If you feel like you want them to be more like socially manipulative,
she's definitely more socially manipulative.
Yeah, so go 6. Yeah, a 6 in will is great. It's a good.
Whereas I took a lower will because I'm broken anyway.
Yes.
So
broken.
Would I adjust the will and manually?
Yeah, go ahead and just up that on your sheet.
So we're not like setting an upper limit on will or perception to like.
I don't think humans have one.
Okay. I thought it was 5 for some reason. Maybe that was just something we set.
No. Okay. Physical stats. All it says is all Luke suggests in the book is somewhere between 3 and 6.
Humans do have a default limit. I think it's either 6 or 7.
Yeah.
Which is it's in the rule book towards the beginning or something.
I think that they said like 6 would be the highest you'd probably want to go to start.
You're gonna be hard pressed to get over 6 in anything anyways without totally messing yourself up.
Yeah.
Adam, I have a question.
Yes.
Can we make a small edit to a single life path in order to make one that is logical for the setting we have established? Specifically, a like version of either apt pupil or neophyte sorcerer, like an equivalent for that is more in the like outskirts villagey mode where things are not so much about.
I mean, I think
stuff, or should I just take apt pupil and roll with it?
I mean, I think the thing with those, we've determined that like apt pupil and like things that give you gifted tend to be of the John D kind of Enochian magic style, spirit binding, folklore, and to a lesser degree, I guess, summoning. Like art magic is a civilized magic, not so much a country magic.
Okay.
Which is I think why we leaned into that.
Well, in that case, I'll just do neophyte sorcerer then.
Okay.
So I was in the city for a bit, and then I went out to the woods.
Sure.
It says that physical points start no lower than 3 and no higher than 6.
Yeah, it's just a suggestion. You can.
I don't think it says anything about mental.
Yeah, you can just do what you want. According to like human stat levels, if there is a limitation. I didn't take a look at that.
And what about the physical pool? Is that going to just be determining?
So your physical stats are divided into power, fort, agility, and speed.
Mm-hmm.
Power is like brute strength, basically. Like how physically tough you are in terms of like lifting and breaking and punching and kicking. Weapon stuff, damage for weapons is based on power. Your fort is your physical fortitude, your character's resilience. It's not the same as health. Health is how healthy you are, but fort is less like exerting external strength. Agility is your character's like hand-eye coordination. That's why things like writing are based on perception and agility.
Okay.
So hand-eye coordination, and then speed is body strength, body speed, like how fast you're. Yeah, that's a good call. Yeah, fort is resisting, health is recovering. So if your character runs fast, high speed. If your character can throw a dart and hit a target, high agility.
Okay. And I have to divide these 11 points between these 4 things?
Correct. Yes.
Okay.
Any or upper or lower suggestions for these in the same way that we had the like no lower than
I mean,
3?
if you go obscenely low, basically your lowest stat is the bottom level for when you get in a fight. So if you take a wound that is causing more of a die penalty than you have in any of your stats, you pass out. So a 1 or a 2, not a smart move if you can manage it, which is why they suggest a 3.
Okay.
But yeah, consider your traits too. Like if you are, your speed might be hindered by your character being lame or crippled. So like look at your required stuff.
So a good idea for someone who's not like an overtly physical character would just be to like even split this stuff, or
yeah. If you're just well-rounded, yeah. I would say for your character, agility, having a higher agility over the other ones, if you're looking for a place to spend the points.
I took like a slightly higher agility, and everything else is the same. Basically.
Yeah.
In terms of, I know we're not gonna. Well, actually, I don't know if we are. I don't think the plan is to start with Jewel of Wits and stuff because I've never used it, and obviously Legion Alpha haven't. But like later on, is there a way to kind of, or are there stats that would make it beneficial to be more perceptive than willful whilst you're trying to argue, or is will always going to just be like better at that sort of thing?
Oh, Duel of Wits is all about will. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, because I'd like to be good at being scheming and conniving.
Yeah,
so
that's will for sure. Yep.
Will over perception. Okay.
Yeah.
So Adam, someone in chat reminded me of the existence of Wizard's Apprentice, which is actually perfect. It was exactly what I was looking for.
Oh,
It's a
good.
villager setting thing, so it makes sense.
Yeah.
Track, and it just changes some of my skills, I think, that are available. But anyways, and it's like roughly equivalent in all the points too, so it makes it really easy.
Good. Okay, cool. All right. So has everybody got their mental and physical pool? Barring Andrew, who's doing paperwork.
Yeah, mine's done already.
Okay, perfect.
So
Okay.
I have
So let's talk about spending skill points. So spending your skill points, you're going to total up all your general points. So Blue Jay, I'm using you as the example. I have your character sheet here. You have 5. Set those aside. Do not worry about them. They're not important right now. Total up all your skill points from your life paths that are not general. So you have 29. The first skill listed with each path is required. You must open the skill. When you open a skill, your new exponent starts at half the root stat rounded down. If it has, this is going to sound complicated. If it has 2 roots, it's half the average of the root stats rounded down. Root stats are listed with each skill. So for example, you have to open right. So click on open next to right there. Okay. Now let's see. Has that adjusted anything anywhere? No, I don't think we have a running tally on the sheet.
No, it took a skill point. Yeah.
Oh, it did take one of your skill points? Okay, perfect. Okay, so opening it, there you go. So now you have that stat, that skill, you have right. And let's see if that math is correct. So it's the average of perception and agility rounded down.
It would be 2.
2, perfect. Okay, so you go. So you'll have 2 dice, two dice, black shaded, for when you need to make a writing test. Now you have to do that again for etiquette and for estate management. So open both of those. Okay. Now with your remaining, what do you got left?
31.
Okay, with your remaining 31 skill points. Where are you looking? Where it's pulling from the numbers?
0.5 skill, and then there's a number next to it. 31 remaining.
Oh, up there. Right. Okay. So remember that 5 of these are general. So you want to get that skill number from 31 down to 5.
Down to 5. Okay.
Yes, yeah. Leave it at 5. Okay, so you've opened the skills you have to open. This is a thing everyone has to do. Now, you can open additional, you can advance additional skills, and if you do, it costs 1 point in character burning to add 1 die.
Okay.
Yeah. So if you want to be better at etiquette than 2, you can spend more points to do that.
And I would just like, where would I advance? I would put like
advance.
1.
You put the number of times you've advanced it.
Okay.
Now you have that 26 points, that 31 minus 5. You have those points to spend on everything in this list. So what I would suggest you do is open all the skills that you want first, then go back and advance all the ones you want to advance, because you can't advance something you haven't opened. One thing to keep in mind is that sometimes if it's a general skill or a skill that you think is interesting, but you might not roll a lot, open it so you can fork it later. So forking is when you're doing one thing, but you know another skill that's related to it. So if you were writing a poem, you could fork in your write skill.
Okay.
If you are playing a musical instrument, or if you're composing music, you could fork in the instrument for which you are composing. So don't worry about boosting everything. Having some skills that are at 2, no big deal.
Okay.
The other thing for you, particularly for your character, that is interesting is you have access to a skill that is fun and weird and a big gamble. You have access to a skill called astrology. And astrology is a fun skill because with astrology, you can fork it into anything. Anything. So astrology,
non-physical skill.
right. So astrology may be forked with any skill except those of martial or physical type. However, the astrology die is different. It's open-ended. So if you roll a 6, you get to re-roll it and continue to add successes, but it's open-ended on the bottom end too. So if you roll a 1 on your astrology die, you have to roll it again, and failures will take away from your successes. So the idea with astrology is that you're like, cool, I've read my chart. I'm going to fork in astrology. Oh dear. Oh boy, today is a bad luck day. And you can just like tank a good roll. Or you can be like, sweet, good luck. And astrology can bolster your character, but you can fork it into anything that isn't like martial or physical.
I kind of really like that.
It's fun, right? And you may never roll it, but you can open it for one point.
So you can choose like, so if
you could not fork it if you wanted to. Yeah.
If I open it, then it would be like a B2 or whatever, and I'd have it to.
Yes, you could always fork it. Yeah.
Okay.
Fork stands for Field of Related Knowledge. It's also just really fun
that
to say.
sounds valuable to have.
Yes.
That's cool.
Yeah. So yeah, go ahead and everybody get started
And then
opening
none
your
of the
skills.
wises were in the back.
Oh yeah, let's talk about wises. So wises are great for forking because, for example, if you take noble wise and you're trying to persuade, seduce, observe, write a letter to, write a poem about, be etiquette toward, the wises all are skills on their own that you can fork into anything relating to those people or that thing, right?
Would there be any reason like to
advance it? Yes. So you can also roll it to tell me things about the game world. So if your character is noble wise and you, Blue Jay, have an idea about nobility in our game, you could say, oh, I think I've heard a rumor about this particular behavior. These nobles, the nobles at every full moon have a masquerade dance, right? You could tell me that, and I'd be like, that seems reasonable. Okay, make an ob1 noble wise roll, and if you succeed, then cool, we roll with it. If you fail, either I'm like, yeah, that maybe used to be the case, but it's fallen out of favor, or I could be like, yes, however, and I can complicate your result, right?
Okay.
So opening it allows you to fork it into anything and roll, but the more dice you have in it, the more likely you're going to be able as a player to tell me things about it.
And
it also allows you to make linked tests for things like resources or like circles. Sometimes they can help you with that.
in the back, it didn't tell me what traits or what.
They're
whatever to put.
they're all linked to perception, I think.
It
yeah,
didn't.
They are.
They're all
Yeah,
perception?
all wises are perception
Okay.
because they're things you know. Your character is wise about certain things.
Slavery wives.
Yeah, your character knows shit about slavery. You know why? Because they were a slave.
Because being a slave sucks.
Yeah. So they're different. They're different than, say, like the wises in Mouse Guard in that they're just skills in this.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm just going through and like marking ones that I want.
I'm looking to see if there's anything else that might not make sense. Perception is a stat. Observation is a skill. Perception is your character is just naturally perceptive. Observation is you've spent time practicing, observing, looking for hidden things, that sort of thing. There's 2 skills called inconspicuous and conspicuous. Inconspicuous is sort of like stealth, but you're not actively trying to hide. You're just in a crowd and people don't notice you. Conspicuous is the opposite. It's trying to draw attention to yourself. Trying to be obvious if you have the conspicuous skill.
Okay.
Yeah. Forking is really useful. Like if you don't want to just go all in on a particular skill, you can bump that skill up to a good number of dice and then look for things that you can fork into it. So like if you had noble wise, husband wise, and seduction, you'd be really good at seducing noble husbands.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, that.
Or protecting your noble husband from being seduced, I guess.
Yeah,
I have seduction. I have seduction and falsehood.
Exactly, yeah. I love you. Is that falsehood or seduction? I don't know. Both.
I don't know, both.
I don't know, both.
It can be both.
It's one forking the other.
Yeah, exactly. But
Just like we will be soon.
Yeah. Also, yes, chat makes a good point. I guess you could use husband-wise, noble-wise, and seduction to seduce your own husband. Where's the fun in that?
So estate-wise and estate management would be forked.
Yes, they're different because one is actually managing the estate, the other is knowing about how estates work and what they're about. Whether or not a property line covers an estate, or like little nuances of what estates are.
So all these 29 points I am using to unlock or up these specific skills, and then the general ones I could
you will be able to open and advance things that are not on your list.
These ones are only for these skills.
Yes, these ones are only for this list. Dave, you were going to ask something?
Yeah, obscure history doesn't seem to be in either of the 2 books. Is it just...
I think it's a wise.
Oh, is it a wise?
I think it's essentially just a wise. Yeah.
Okay.
I have both conspicuous and inconspicuous.
It's a great call. What's interesting is that in this game there are a lot of social skills. There's persuasion, oratory, command, and we've had in the game, the games previous, we've had people come to terms where like I've got 6 dice in command, but unless I'm barking orders, I am terrible at getting what I want. I have to bark orders. Oh, I see. It's a general history. It's a form of history skill. I forgot that the history ones, like languages, are broken up that way. So obscure history is a kind of history, and you can find its description under that skill. So I'll find it for you.
Where did I get field dressing from? Jesus.
I don't know. You're a lady. You know how to bind wounds.
Evidently. Just in case.
Thank you, chat, for helping me with the history thing. Let's take a look at what that does.
So once I open them all, I can advance with the remaining ones?
You advance anything that you've opened. Yeah. So the idea is you have the large skill list. You break it down into just the ones you've opened. Then you break that down into the ones you want to bump up with advancements. Let's see.
And I'm assuming that you can advance these as during play as well somehow.
Yes.
History is the knowledge of records of past events, yada, yada, yada. You're assumed to have studied the popular history of your culture or people unless your life path says otherwise. They're fairly self-explanatory. Each is a separate skill. Obscure history. So you don't really know the mainstream history, but if I asked you about some random weird point of history, you'd have a much higher, like better chance of knowing that.
Yeah. Yeah, I only have that. I don't think I have.
Yeah.
Oh, I have religious history and obscure history, which is kind of perfect. I don't actually know a huge amount about the world as it is, but about the world in a way that we want it to be or say it is.
Mm-hmm.
Totally.
Yeah.
That's
It's
helpful.
completely nuts. I love it.
Well, I'm sure the thing is the two of those fork each other really well, right? Where you're like, obscure religious history and religious obscure history.
Just looking through my skills here, and I see spider husbandry on the list of skills in this book.
Yeah, it's an orc skill.
Yeah, I bet.
Yeah, orcs are good at breeding spiders.
Spider husbandry.
Mm-hmm.
I have the skill ooze husbandry on a LARP character.
What skills? Let's see what skills you opened here. Let's see. Oh, nice. All but climbing.
Lots.
Yeah, nice. Slavery wise, falsehood, seduction, poisons, cooking, inconspicuous, disguise, sing, sleight of hand, conspicuous, throwing, and ugly truth. God, ugly truth is so good.
I have ugly truth too.
I'm sorry, sir. You're an idiot.
Yeah.
I mean, ugly truth is the essential jester skill.
It's the essential jester skill.
Yeah. Okay. Good stuff.
Ob 4, ugly truth about a nuanced or delicate situation.
Yeah.
God is dead.
I mean, yeah, God is dead. The ob with that will go down as more people accept it as being true. Do 3 of you have ugly truth opened?
I don't have it.
Yeah, I have ugly truth.
Everyone except Blue Jay's character has ugly truth opened. Blue Jay, I hope your character's ready to hear a lot of ugly truths.
Evidently.
I have a lot of skills open, but would it serve me better to maybe focus more?
I mean, here's the thing. Having a lot open will give you dice from forking if you're doing a lot of things that fit into your plan. Having a few skills that are quite good means you'll get what you want more often, but they'll advance much more slowly. Because in this, they advance by by actually taking part in the skill and by failing, right? Success and failure are both required. More skill means more opportunities to fork. Less skill means higher points in any individual skill. So I don't know, you could have 1 or 2 at like 5 or 6, and then go from there. It depends on how many points you
I've
have.
got like a 4 in ugly truth, and everything else is like 1s and 2s. And it's like...
Okay.
So in order to be able to read letters, it's ob 2, but to write them, it's ob 3.
Yes, writing is harder than reading.
Got it.
Because reading, you can sound it out, and someone else has done all the hard work of putting the letters on the page for you. You just have to be like, the dog. And again, I'm not going to make you make tests unless it matters, right? Unless it's like important that you might fail. Because a big part of the process for the game for the GM is just rolling dice or saying yes. Also, someone in chat asked, is there a skill called Pretty Truth? Yeah, it's called Soothing Platitudes.
It's a servant skill.
Yeah.
Someone in chat says as well, magical skills like sorcery and spirit binding take 2 points to open.
Let's double check that.
I don't know how I would make the UI show that I've spent 2, however.
Yeah, I mean, that would be on you just to remember that you have.
Just leave one.
Make sure your
one
skill list has
unspent.
2 extra or whatever, 1 extra.
Yeah, because I have to open summoning, and that's 2. Well, apparently 2.
Opening skill,
definitely.
roots. Special skills like songs or no. It's like for elves, the Call of the Wild, Song of Paths and Ways, Air of Gates. Those are all elven abilities.
Spell songs cost 2.
Spell songs. Yeah, special skills like songs or arts. Not they're noted in the life paths. So let me find a life path that has sorcery.
Right.
It doesn't say in any of the ones I've seen.
Okay, yeah, so sorcery isn't one.
Because here's the thing about sorcery: if you don't have the gifted trait, you can still take sorcery. It's just it's like how sorcery is in our world, where you can like think you're a wizard all you want.
Yeah, sorcery and spirit binding are not that kind of skill. There's also training skills. So if any of your skills have like the word training in them, you just unlock them and never advance them. But most of those are for fighting, and I don't think any of you are particularly fighty.
Okay.
Yeah. Cool. All right. So
So what do I do with those general skill points?
Yeah. Are we ready to talk about general skill points? It's real simple. Anyone who's still working on the specific ones, if you want to just take a knee for a second, I will describe to you the general skill points. General skill points. General skill points allow you to open any skill. I'll read the exact description of general here. General skill points represent natural talent or additional experience not detailed in your life path. Skill points from life paths can only be used to open and advance skills gained from the life path. General can open or advance any skill not subject to other restrictions. Skills open with general points may not be advanced using regular skill points, which is why we spend all of our regular ones first.
Okay.
So these ones, you can open new ones, you can advance new ones, or you can advance existing ones if you really just want an extra point. So this is where if your character didn't learn how to kill things with knives, you can open the knife skill. If you
That's
want,
my plan.
If you want some other skills. Now remember, if you don't worry about if you don't get the skill in play. This isn't like D&D where if you don't take the skill now, you'll never get it unless you buy a feat. What happens instead in here is you just do it untrained, or you take time to learn it off screen during downtime, or both. So this would be where if you're like, my character didn't get swords or alchemy or stealth or whatever bullshit that you want to make your character fit what you're thinking, this is the time to do that.
Should I put 1 extra skill point in apothecary or astrology?
You have them both open?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. Does your character like to apothec or do you like care more about the stars or about dank herbs?
I don't know.
You're more likely to roll apothecary if that's any indication.
Yeah, and ob 3 would be to alleviate +1 ob of pain.
Right, apothecary you can make like poultices and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And you can. What's great here too is that you have crossover now between characters' skills, right? So in this game, if you want to help somebody, you have to have an appropriate skill for helping them, either the same skill they're using or something similar. So if somebody was trying to make a poison, you could help with your apothecary skill.
Oh, look at that.
You can also buy up with your general points. You can buy cool wises, like just open a random wise for things that your character is like personally interested in that might not have been part of their upbringing. So this is how you get like noble
wise.
Noble ladies that have demonology or whatever. Frilly underpants wise.
Also,
Frilly underpants wise. Yeah.
Blue Jay, do you have the extortion skill?
I don't.
It's a good way to make money.
That's the blackmail skill.
Yep.
That's blackmail?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Extortion is blackmailing.
I like that.
And you can make up your own wises. Yeah. If they're not in the book, you can just say, my character is night wise or bats wise.
I'm good at baths.
Yeah. You can be bath wise. Lots of Romans were.
Hella bath wise.
Bath wise. Skull wise.
It's a popular skill at parties.
Sorry, Dave, what were you saying?
I find myself creating this character entirely differently to how I've done ones before.
Oh yeah.
Just before, I've wanted them to be good at certain things, so I've pumped a bunch of advancement points into stuff. Now I'm just opening everything and just having,
I just have like everything open and everything's low.
Yeah, like I'm purposely leaving summoning and enchanting like at 2 just to see what happens.
Yeah.
Oh, and guys, I found it. So all manish stats are capped at 8. Their stride is 7. There you go. Your maximum stats are 8 for stuff.
Okay.
Side note,
my stats are all capped at 9, and my stride is 8 because I'm elvish.
Yeah.
So if I would open extortion, and how much does that cost? Like
1 point to open it, and then however many if you want to advance it.
Yeah, just one of your generals because it's not in your life paths.
The most fun thing about sorcery or summoning is not succeeding at the rolls; it's failing at them.
Yes, for sure.
So, Adam,
Mm-hmm.
you'll be delighted by these choices.
Uh-huh.
My social skills are, of course, ugly truth, falsehood, and bargaining. Bargaining being the social skill for making deals with demons and shit.
Yep.
I can't summon them, but
You might know someone who can.
and also I'm actually figuring it's rad for spirit binding, right? Because you need to like make deals with spirits and stuff as well. So.
Yeah. So your spirit binding is the skill for summoning and binding spirits. Yeah.
Yeah, it's different from summoning, which is like I bring this demon into the world. You're like,
Yeah.
Spirit binding
Demons and angels are not in the world. They're not of the world.
Yeah.
They're away. But the spirits are around you all the time. Binding is just being like, yoink, stay here.
but sometimes I might just want to talk to them. In which case, bargaining, let's make it.
Yeah, I see, Elf. You make a good point. Yeah, throwing and knives, right? You make the throwing skill to throw a knife, but you also like there's some overlap there.
You can fork your knife and throwing skills to throw.
If you had fork wise, you could fork your fork and knife
fork
wise.
skills,
You could fork both of those into etiquette to choose the correct utensils at dinner.
Look, you're going to want to get fork wise so that you can go into White Plume Mountain and know
That's right.
what kind of fork.
Also
Not a
useful
fork,
for
it's
white.
a trident.
Also useful trident wise, giant huge crab wise.
Stupid fucking fork.
Stupid fucking fork wise.
Strange accents wise.
Don't worry, Andrew. We can work together on this. I've got my
I'm
and my assassination, so we're gonna. You deal with them. I'll bring them in.
Cercination is such a fun.
I mean, woe betide the world if our characters join forces.
Yep.
I'm 100% definitely very apprehensive about the fact that I have like no high stats. Like
That's great. No, it's fine. Here's the thing: you're playing a character who will fail a lot. Failure is fun. Your character is already really good at suffering and being kicked around, so that will happen. And you're going to need other people's help to get what you want, which includes you in all kinds of stuff in the game. It's going to be good.
Do I need dance?
Also, yes, for chat, Samwise, two different skills. One of them is you know about people named Sam. The other is you know about Samwise from The Hobbit. Frodo was Samwise, but not Samwise. Samwise was probably not Samwise either, and probably a little Samwise. I'm looking up what happens if you fail a summoning check. Let's see here.
Oh, it's like you get the whole gamut of just like failed rituals, random.
Like failing sorcery is bad, but then there's failing your summoning roll.
Yeah.
And it depends as well, based on what I put on the line to complete the summoning.
Yes. Yeah. I'm gonna.
Like,
have to
I could
read all the
bargain
rules.
with my soul. Like I'll be like,
Right.
oh, my
Yeah, price of service, an untainted mortal soul, a physical price, possession, tribute, the summoner's soul, or a mark. You wear the insignia or mark of the demon or spirit, visible on your flesh. For lesser orders like the dead or minor spirits, it comes in the form of a symbol worn on the person. For other spirits, a scar or tattoo. For deities, a mark consists of a character trait described as above plus a reputation with that spirit's order. The reputation is infamous with that spirit's enemies. Cool. I like the difference between like you can have faith in God and be a powerful priest and have a high faith still and work miracles, but you can also be a powerful summoner and summon God and make him do things for you. God, I pray to thee, help me. No, shut up. We're not praying today. God, get down here.
Yeah.
God, get your lazy dead ass down here.
Get your lazy, dead ass down here. Yep, I like it. So for skills, once you've spent all your general points and your regular points, we do a similar process for traits. So for your traits, you're gonna have, and the sheet doesn't differentiate this, but usually it's only your first life path that gives you general trait points.
Mm-hmm.
There are general trait points, and then the rest of your trait points, you have to buy the required traits. In the same way we described before, if it has two and you already have one, like for example, Dave, you have Believer required twice. The second time Believer appears, you have to take the next one instead. So you have to take those, and then you use your remaining points that are not general to buy the other traits on your list at a cost of 1 per 1. And then your general points can be used to buy any trait in the game.
So sorry, you need to buy the second time it comes up.
Yes, if it comes up the second time, you have to look at like what's the next one. You get Believer once as apt pupil, and then again as what?
Temple acolyte, so Believer and then tonsured.
Right, tonsured. So
I don't see any general trait points.
You may not have any. Usually they're in your you have 2. Born Slave gives you 2.
It says traits 3. 3 points. Broken, scarred, maimed, lame.
Oh no, you don't. Yeah, you don't have to spend on all of those. You get 3 points. You have to buy the first one. The other 2 just go on your list.
No, they go to general. Okay.
No. So general. Like, okay. What are you looking at? Which life path?
I'm looking at Born Slave.
Okay, what page is it on?
My Born Life Path, which is on 192.
Okay. So just to make sure, because I don't want to just. Okay. So you have 2. Okay, Born Slave. You get 3 points, and you have to spend them on broken, scarred, maimed, and lame. Oh, you know what? Yeah, I'm getting these mixed up with skills. I think that it's just whatever trait points you have left It costs 1 from the one on your list. Yeah, there's no general points. It's just whatever's left. Yeah. That's why I got confused.
So it costs 1 for the ones on your list, and then whatever it costs for the ones from the book?
Yeah.
Yeah, they'll have a cost listed.
Yeah. That's right.
Okay,
I was
cool.
getting that mixed up with skills.
Cool. All right, now I understand.
Yeah, so you have 3 points, one of which you have to spend on your first trait. The other ones cost you 1. Once you buy all the ones that are required, you can either choose to pay 1 for the ones on the list, or buy ones that are not on your list at their full price.
Hey, Adam.
Yes.
If I wanted to have a wizard's tower,
Yeah.
would you say that is a keep as an equivalent sized thing? Or is that like...
Are you looking at spending your resource
I'm looking
points?
at property, yeah.
Yeah,
so,
where's the page on there?
property is on 205 in the
Human property.
gold book.
Okay.
Yeah, human property.
Let's see. A leaky shack, a small cottage, a house or cottage industry like a weaver, a villa, small business, yada, yada, yada. A keep, a fortress, a castle. I feel like a successful small business, a large business, or a keep. I wouldn't call it.
Okay, so it's like...
However, note that only noble-born characters or characters with a certain set of life paths may spend more than 40 RPs on property. Other other characters simply may not own that degree of property.
I have all these... I'm so rich.
Hey, side note, abnormally long tongue.
Thanks, Elf.
magic
Sorry,
fists.
keeping it classy.
The thing is, and this is going to happen to Dave too, that where you're going to have more resource points than maybe you should, because if
You're supposed to buy spells.
You're supposed to buy
huh?
spells. So let me look and see if art magic talks about that, because I feel like there'd be a
I
sync
did
there.
some looking and I didn't see anything, but maybe you'll spot it.
So art magic, characters must use gifted for art magic. It is accessed through sorcery. Strongly recommend not to use it. Blah, blah, blah. Arcane knowledge, sorcerer's weapon, shit you can do. Casting under pressure, schools of magic. Intended effects. Yeah.
Ah, shit. I could get wine tasting.
Yeah, I don't know. I think you just have those because magic doesn't work that way anymore. You don't have spells, so let me look.
Oh, apparently I can buy... I mean, affiliations and stuff are really helpful for me.
Yeah, I think just lean into that stuff. Lean into buying affiliations and all that junk.
Yeah.
Or I could just get wine wise.
Yeah. Yeah. Wine. So the difference between wine wise and wine tasting is the ability to taste wine and tell things about it. Wine wise is walking through a liquor store being like this thing, that other thing. I know about that one.
Do you want me to still call my trait faithful, or do you want it to be called faith in dead gods?
No, you're still faithful. The difference between the two, let's talk about faith and how faith works if you have faith in a dead god. Let's see what page
It's
that's
just
on.
like a weakened version, it seems like.
No, it's got a few other like alternate rules for miracles. Here we go. Faith in dead gods. You use your regular faith. In play, it only affects you and other believers. Believers must have an appropriate belief that clearly states they adhere to the doctrine the faithful preaches. Otherwise, tests and events like faiths. You may call for anything except intercessions, miracles, purification, hindrance, or consecration, because God can't answer you. And you get two articles of moribund power: hypnotism, that you can use on non-believers, and sublime transformation. Now, the faith in dead gods thing, I think, is supposed to represent, it's like Thulsa Doom and like worshiping Set, right? Where you can hypnotize them through your eyes and speech. And then you can also turn into an animal representative of the physical qualities of his patron. So you and I, Dave, will have to work out what the sacred animal of God is. Like for the Catholic Church, that would be a lamb or a lion, right? Depending on your angle. For this god, we could talk about that, but it's an Ob 5 faith test, so it's pretty big. I really like the dealing with deities. If you ever have to confront a deity face to face, they always have a bunch of traits, and then they include force of nature, higher power, and I am God.
Yeah, and they're specifically for Duel of Wits when you are having an argument with God.
Yep. Oh, that's right. That's right. You can spend your RP points. Niran just pointed this out. You can spend your resource points on spirit binding stuff.
Yeah, that's what I'm gonna do.
Yeah. Okay. So yeah, 319 will buy you domains or whatever they're called. And that's your magic. There you go. Okay.
Yeah, and I get 1 per life path, plus I have a trait that lets me do more stuff for free because I'm well traveled.
Yeah. Cool. I like how Chad is suggesting wises for our noble.
Yeah,
wise.
there's a whole good list of wises in chat, that's for sure.
What is the corrupted emotional trait?
So I'm glad you asked. Corruption is a bad thing that happens to people who dig around where they shouldn't. Corruption is the world rejecting a warlock, the world rejecting a heretic, the world rejecting a blood sorcerer. And it accrues as you do bad things and get exposed to nasty stuff. And then eventually it maxes out and you die or go insane. And as it goes up, it's like warp taint in Warhammer, right?
Okay.
Let me take a look at its exact rules.
Yeah, can you have multiple emotional traits?
Sure. I don't see why not.
Yeah, because I've got 3.
Yeah, because you could have faith. You could have faith and grief if you were an elf. Starting. Okay, so your corruption. We'll start you with. Yeah, I think we'll use corruption. I like it. I think it's a fun thing. And you and Andrew will both start with some corruption because.
Okay.
Oh yeah, we should totally play with corruption. It's rad.
Yeah, I'm seeing it in the wizard's traits things, and I thought that might be cool, but I don't actually have enough points.
You automatically it automatically accrues. You start at B0. Everyone has the potential to travel down this path. Let me just read. You know what? We'll do corruption once we do. Remind me when we do health.
Okay.
And then yeah, you can use it. You can accrue more corruption to gain points. It's all on chapter or on page 255. And you can advance corruption. Corruption can give you strength.
Which are the 2 books?
Sorry, Codex. Yeah. You can get corruption traits like zoophagia and blindness and fur.
Wow. That's mental.
Failed circles tests for characters with corruption are always interesting. Rather than the standard enmity clause, the GM can invoke the creepy clause, which allows to bring forth unsavory, detestable seekers of knowledge and power. They're always mad in some fashion and murderous. They seek to gain the power of corruption from the sorcerer or elevate the sorcerer to an exalted place of power and reap the reward for themselves. Sometimes they are unwitting pawns of power who seek to aid or destroy the sorcerer. Sometimes both. You just attract creeps.
Nice. Okay, I think I know what traits I'm going to open then.
Yeah, so you can go blind by corruption, like your sight is taken from you as one of the options. It's not that blindness is inherently corrupt in the game. It's just that as you kind of like if you mess with chemicals, you shouldn't. You can go blind. It can rob you of your sight.
Need to find the last one I was interested in was Zealot. I need to find what that does. Oh, Zealot's the one that gives you an extra belief, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, I kind of want that.
So your character is going to have to. We're going to have to play it out with beliefs and like in the game, but like death art and that stuff is explicitly like forbidden by the faith of which you are a part.
Yep.
I like it.
I'll have to get there. Yeah, like I was going to angle for like Death Priest. I think I could have done that in 5 as well, but I wanted to start as just Priest and actually just play out the going evil bit.
I mean, this is a character who could lose their faith in play for sure.
Yep. I've started with 3 different.
So many traits to look through.
Yep. How many trait points do you have to spend, Elf?
I have 4 to spend.
Oh, not bad.
And I'm trying to think of stuff that would fit with my character's like past. So like stuff like contortionist.
And this is 4 that you've decided you don't want to spend any more on the ones you already have.
Yeah, I mean,
okay.
I don't need to take Scarred, Maim, or Lame. I don't need to take Worldly. Aura of Innocence I've taken. But otherwise it's just So far I have broken. Oh no, I did take scarred. Broken, scarred, numb, off kilter, scapegoat, aura of innocence is what I have so far. All of them for 1 because they're on my list.
So you've spent 5 so far.
And then I have 4 remaining points that I'm trying to figure out what to put them towards. Maybe clumsy.
Good.
Huh? What'd you say?
Know whether you actually want to succeed or not. You're just like, I'll break the tie against myself. Yeah.
Well, the thing about traits is if you can point to having played them and having them complicate your life, then you'll get Artha. You'll get rewarded. Sorry, Blue Jay, go ahead.
So the required ones cost 1 unless it says something else. Traits.
If they're on your list, they are required, and if so, yes, they cost you 1. Yeah.
Okay.
Clumsy poisoner. What could go wrong?
Oh god.
Yeah, the clumsy poisoner.
That doesn't seem safe.
That'll be fine.
Definitely not a thing I should do.
It'll be just fine.
That's awesome. There's a trait in the game called the Killer. It's named after Chow Yun Fat, and it's basically you're good at gunfights in range and cover.
I may actually take the Louis Wu one, which is like when you fail a steal or whatever, you don't stand and drill, you laugh.
That's pretty awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, belly laugh in your hesitation options. If this doesn't infuriate friends and foes alike, something is wrong in the world.
So if it's not a life path trait, you mark it as special? Or
oh yeah, the type there, that's just for to remind you later, for when you move it over. You don't have to
okay, it doesn't matter.
Mark it. Basically the idea here is that if it's one you didn't buy, if you bought it outside of your life paths, yeah, go ahead and
okay.
that.
I need one more trait. I don't have very many traits. I'm not really.
Okay, well, let's everybody do some trade shopping. We'll take a short break. I'm gonna go grab some more water, and when we're back, we'll continue. We'll continue with the process. More Burning Wheel episode 0 when we get back. I kind of forgot that we were streaming this. I was like, oh yeah, we should take a break because people are hanging out and doing that. I'm just like, we're just making characters. All right, stick around. We'll be back in just a few minutes.